Are there new?
Paladin. How did we not have Paladin on? Paladin,
That's in.
Let's tell Jared we want to add one to the list.
You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
All right, everybody, we are back with part 3 of Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, Battle of the Fake Bands. If you've been listening, you know the drill. We have been doing a March Madness style bracket. We're talking fake bands from TV, from movies, from theme park attractions, cartoons, Muppets, every genre you can imagine. We've been narrowing it down. So last episode we were at 64, and we knocked off 12. So we have 52 more fake bands to go. Strap in. It's time for part 3. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth.
Back once again, headlining the whole operation, Mr. Jared Lowe. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me back. It's a marathon, not a sprint here, guys. Okay, we're gonna get there. We're making it slowly but surely.
No rush.
We got all summer.
Yeah, so
Yeah. You're just going to have to come up with something else if we finish this.
yeah, so last week we had moved into the kind of round of 64. We narrowed down the first region, if you want to call it that, and down to the final 4 for that region. So we've got 4 of the, if you want to call it the Sweet 16, we've got 4 of the Sweet 16 set. And today we're going to get another 4 set into that Sweet 16 round. So, yeah, we've got some, this round we've got actually 4 of our familiar favorites that made it out of the play-in tournament.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to have some bands that we've already talked about a little bit that made their way through that. I mean, it was a gauntlet to get out of that play-in tournament and get into this.
I still haven't stopped talking about
it. But they're going to be going up against some heavy hitters here. So, yeah, let's have some fun with it. Let's do it. All right, so let's start off at the top. We've got one of our play-in favorites. I mean, this is a, everybody's talking about the Sax Man and how far he's going to make it.
What's he ranked?
He comes in at, he's a 16 seed coming in against the number 1 seed.
Man, this is going to be a big upset. That rarely happens, but
we don't even know who it is.
I don't know who it is, but man, I feel it coming on.
So yeah, I don't know if we
Good
want
luck,
to.
whoever.
There's one clip of Sax Man. I don't know if we want to hear it again, just to kind of reset and get
let's
our
wait.
minds in that.
Let's wait till he gets next round.
Okay. So sure of
You didn't want to wear that out too soon.
Yeah. Let's not use it unless we have to. I already listened to that today.
All right. So if you missed our first episode, we're talking about a famous scene from Lost Boys, where we've got a unnamed singer. He's credited as Beach Concert Star from Lost Boys. Plays a sax, he's shirtless, he's greasy, he's wearing chains.
Chain. Yeah.
Everybody loves him, yeah. So makes a very brief appearance, but very memorable in that. Now Sax Man is going up against the number 1 seed in this bracket.
Yeah.
We're going way back in time to 1966. We're talking the Monkees.
Here we come, walk down the street. We get funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. We're just trying to be friendly. I come and watch, sing and play. We're the young generation, and we got
Theme song right there.
Hey, we got the monkeys. Yeah, so this is one of the OG kind of fake bands here.
Yeah,
they were created for an NBC sitcom. This was 66, right? So yeah, this is right.
I mean, I know Spinal
to,
Tap, but this might be the most famous fake band. Like, don't you think like this is?
I think I agree with you.
That's huge.
Yes. So they, basically kind of put the band together, specifically for the TV show to do wacky hijinks as, long-haired rock and rollers, so the folks at home could laugh at that new fad of rock and roll happening out there.
Beatlemania was big at the time, correct? So this was sort of the way to.
So they
to cash in on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they wanted to control. They wanted to get that. We'll just make our own band here, make our own fake band here.
So so at the beginning, they were basically just, they did not write any songs. They did not play their instrument. It was all kind of manufactured for the show, and they were doing that. But, they had musical ambitions and things. So they, the story of the Monkees is they had to kind of fight the studio for more control to be able to write songs and play their instruments and things like that. And eventually kind of got that freedom and kind of turned into a real band. It's like they were not, they did not start as a real. Yeah, they did. They really did. Now, interestingly, the show only lasted for 2 seasons, which as big as it was not very long lasting. Only 2 seasons. Then the band kind of existed for a couple more years, but they had split up by 1970 because they all kind of wanted to do their own solo musical ambitions and things. So, but I mean, there was a time in that, like 1966, 67, they were as big as or bigger than the Beatles. Like if you look at some of the record sales and stuff, they were huge. They were the biggest band in the world. Like they were huge, which is crazy. But
they had a lot of hits.
They did.
Well, I would say we don't need to hear any more from them in this round. What we do need to hear is one more time. We need to hear the saxophone. I just feel like it's gotta happen.
You gotta play him out.
Skin's getting greasy just listening to this.
I that time I pictured Richie Cunningham, shirt off, greased up.
Richie never wore that much baby oil. He looks like the Macho Man Randy Savage up there. He's so greasy.
Yeah.
How do you even hold the sax without
That's
another point for
How do you
him.
finger the keys? You think they'd slide around?
Who put this guy in at 16? Ridiculous. Okay, you may have to give us some more monkeys. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know that all the monkeys have like hit after hit, so we ought to save them for further rounds. And I'm gonna go ahead and say the monkeys.
Yeah, love Lost Boys. He's a good pop culture reference to make, but yeah, the Monkees are a juggernaut.
Yeah. So the number 1 seed takes care of business.
Good pick. I might question some of your other rankings, but I don't think I'd question them as number 1 seed.
Okay.
They might not win. They might not make it all the way through. It's a good pick.
Well, we'll see. See who they're going up against. All right. So we've got a 3 versus a 14. This is the one that probably hurts my soul more than anything because these are like 2 of my favorite things in the world. They're going up against each other right here in round 1.
I like the sound of this.
The 14 seed is another play-in that we've talked about a little bit. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of their shells tour era. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they formed a band. So that's coming in at the 14 seed. Growing up in a glass bowl with camellias, lizards, and tadpoles, it hardly enters your mind.
Pad. That's what makes us feel all right. Pizza Pad. AI ass sounding lyrics. Okay.
Shout out to Jesse for that one. We wanted to get that one played.
I want to go back to coming out of our shells.
Called for that one.
Yeah, I like the other song much better. But what's it up against before we know whether we got to whip that out?
Okay, so this is going up against one of my absolute favorite movies of all time, the great parody biopic from 2007, Walk Hard. We're talking Dewey Cox.
Walk hard, hard down life's rocky road. Walk bold, hard, that's my creed, my code. I've been scorned and slandered and ridiculed too. Had to struggle every day my whole life through. Seen my share of the worst that this world can give, but I still got a dream and a burning rage to live. Walk hard, hard, when they say you're all done. Walk bold, hard, though they say you're not the one. Even if you've been told time and time again that you're always going to lose.
Now, of course, John C. Reilly as Dewey Cox in the great kind of parody of music biopics.
The parody to end all parodies.
Parody to end reality.
I don't.
Take it too far. Go ahead.
No, like that Bruce Springsteen movie is coming out. They just dropped the trailer, and there's a scene in the trailer. It's like he's got a hole in his floor, and he's got to fix the hole in his floor with carpentry. I'm like, what the Dewey Cox is that? Like, it's so funny
every music biopic. Ugh.
Yes.
I feel the exact same. Like, why are they still making these? Like this, Walk Hard should have ended that style of movie. You know what? There's still 3 of them every year, and they hit all the same beats. That this movie
just kill me.
Pieces.
I couldn't even watch the Queen one. I don't want. Ugh.
Yeah,
so
they're
get
just
it out of here.
yeah.
This came out in 2007, so that was right. Ray, Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash movie. Like, it was right as those were, being Oscar nominated and, taking over, and this movie drops. And it bombed. It was not a hit for sure. But the first time I saw it on video, I didn't need time for it to grow on me. Like, I loved it. I was like, why is this not everyone's favorite movie? It is great. And I've watched it many times since. Again, the music is a parody. It's a joke, but it also chronicles 50 years of American music. They do a bunch of different styles.
Yeah, the soundtrack is so good. It's Elvis and Ray Charles and Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan, the Beatles, James Brown, Jim Morrison, Neil Diamond, Brian Wilson. Oh my gosh, can we even talk about there's like, a 40-minute sequence where he becomes Brian Wilson trying to make, Smile. He wants 50,000 didgeridoos, and it's like it just hits me in my heart so much that it's just perfect. It's a great soundtrack. Talk about a soundtrack of absolute bangers. Every song on that soundtrack, I listen to the soundtrack all the time. It's so good. The music is so well done. It's so funny.
I saw the
John C. Reilly is great.
They recorded 40 original songs, and 33 are in the movie. So in a 2-hour movie, there's 33 original songs. The soundtrack was nominated for Grammy and Golden Globe Awards. So again, jokey, funny songs were also nominated for real awards. So it's a shame the Turtles are going to wipe the floor.
Yeah.
Now play that massive hit. I'm ready. I've been waiting this whole time to hear that again.
I can pull it up.
Hey, you have to play it. I'm dying to hear it.
Pretty delicate riff to play with 3 fingers.
So many chords you
Out of
can.
the shells, we're coming out of the shells.
I still feel like this is a borderline like
When there's
Cinderella.
music
Or,
inside of you, you know that someday it's got to come through. That's why we're here and we're telling you true. We're coming out of the shells, yeah. You hear the rhythm and you're moving your feet. Ain't nothing like a song with a beat. We're coming out up from under the street. Lord, we're ready to rock. There will be no retreat. We're coming out of our shell.
the music's great, and the out of my shell. The rest of the lyrics suck hard, but hard.
Man, that song's good though.
It's
Look.
Anthemic.
Can you imagine? Like, this is the problem. If you were to, if according to the stipulations you laid out, would I buy tickets to go see live that song? I want to see. I want to see that at an amphitheater.
I'm bringing my lighter,
with the turtles on stage, crawling
Shredder
up out
makes an
of
appearance,
sliding.
yeah.
Like this is the opener, and they slide a manhole cover off the stage, and they climb up out of there and start singing that there's smoke everywhere.
All right, so get this. Our pal Logan was in the shop today, and I told him what we were doing with the fake bands, and he said his wife Leela saw this tour when she was like
Live?
7
She
years
saw it
old.
live?
She saw it live, but she only saw like half of it. She got so scared of Shredder and the Foot Clan, she made her mom take her home. It like traumatized her. Because apparently it starts out as just a concert. And then like you see like a Foot Clan member peek around the curtain. They're like they're gonna like sabotage the concert or something. And Leela was like on the edge of her seat, like terrified. They're gonna ruin the concert.
This sounds incredible.
Yes.
So, you're not helping Dewey Cox any. If you're telling me that that's the show, I get to go there and see all of this,
and then that ends in ninja fighting. I mean,
yeah,
that's a fun night, right?
Shit, sign me up.
Sounds amazing.
Take my money.
amazing.
I was just gonna say earlier, I'll be real honest, like this is no contest for me. I will go see 1,000,001 predictable cheesy biopics rather than watch a parody like Walk Hard. I had a friend of mine when that movie came out, and he was like, this movie's so great. He didn't steal it. He got it from Redbox and never returned it. And then it ended up at my house. And he's like, you got to watch this. I couldn't get through a half hour of it. It is not for me in the same. I feel the same way about most of these parodies. Like, they're not my jam. I much prefer guys in turtle suits doing ninja moves, like totally taking it serious over like somebody trying
scaring
to
little girls.
Yes,
sending them home.
I'm gonna make Seth do it because I'm voting Dewey Cox. I love me some turtles, but I think again just the history, the musicalness of it from going from rockabilly up through the psychedelic 60s and meeting the Beatles, and like they run the gamut of American music for 50 years, and they do it funny and they do it cleverly, and it's still toe-tappingly good. So I don't think there's a loser here. Either one of these that goes forward is great, but I'm gonna split the vote and say Dewey. So it's up to Seth.
Okay, well, I would have told you for 100%. I was just like, yeah, put Dewey Cox right through, but I am gonna need you to play another Dewey Cox song. So I'll let Jordan pick. You got one in your mind that they should play?
Guilty as charged is pretty good.
Good morning, Your Honor. May I approach the bench? I don't give a damn what anyone thinks. I stay up all night and I smoke and I drink. I'm a wanted man and I'm blowing town. Don't waste your time trying to hunt me down. The cops are saying I belong behind bars, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty as charged. I ain't never lost a fight in my life.
So obviously that's a cover of a Shredder original.
Yeah.
I don't envy you making this choice. That's why I didn't want
Never.
to
Who would? I mean, I never pictured myself in this situation.
It's the beauty of the bracket.
It's really my only sticking point is the whole what ticket? Who am I walking down to see? And you should have never told that Logan story because that just sounds so good.
If you go to see Dewey Cox, it might be delayed slightly because Dewey Cox has to think about his entire life before he goes on stage.
Exactly. Yeah. Like before
There's
I play.
Shredder.
Before he plays, yes, to say that, think about his entire life.
Baxter
Well,
Stockman
Shredder maybe
not
cut
hiding
his brother in half.
in the rafters or anything.
Yeah. I don't know how to justify it, but I guess I'm going to go with Dewey Cox here. I that was just my go-to
I feel like this
right
is
away, but it was so close because I really don't know if I wouldn't go watch that. I kind of want to see that.
I mean, I love both of these. I love both of these, but yeah, as with Dewey Cox was in danger of being voted out, I felt horrible. So I think I'm definitely good with Dewey Cox moving on. I mean, Turtles won 2 play-in games. They showed out. We got to talk about them. They did a good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go Dewey Cox. Okay.
Jesse shuts off the episode.
Yeah.
All right. So now we've got a 5 seed going up against a 12 seed here. 5 seed from the 2012 comedy Pitch Perfect. We've got the Barden Bellas, a cappella group.
It ain't ever about the money. It's not about the money, money, money. We don't want the money, money, money. We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. It ain't about the cha-ching, cha-ching. Ain't about the ba-bling, ba-bling. Want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. Price tag. Forget about the hey. Won't you come see about me? I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts, giving me everything inside and out. Don't you forget about me, just the way you are. As you walk on by, will you call my name? As you walk on by, will you call my name? As you walk on by, will you call my name?
All right. It's the big finale, I believe, of the first Pitch Perfect movie. So this is on kind of a franchise.
Definitely.
Multiple movies in this one. It's like in around 2012, a cappella became like a cool thing for a few years there, which was quite an accomplishment, I guess. Yeah, I think I don't remember if I've seen the sequels, but I like the first one well enough. It was a fun movie there.
Yeah, the first one. Oh my God, I've seen this movie so many times. Like I could tell you without looking at the rest of this bracket, Carly Barnes would be the winner without a doubt.
It's now
Number 1 right here. We have watched that movie so many times. The second one's fine.
How many Bellas are there?
Oh my gosh, there's a horde of them.
Yeah, that's a bunch.
Anna
10 or
Kendrick,
12 or
Rebel
something.
Wilson, Skylar Aston, Anna Camp, Brittany Snow, Adam Devine is in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's The
10 girls,
second
one cup.
It's fine. As the movies went on, they got a little ridiculous, but girls still, mainly girls still went and saw them. It's I think this is pretty high up there, just because I've seen the reaction to it. I've seen the TikToks of what are now grown women. They still know all the freaking choreography to the finale, and they know every word of the movie. It's got a major following.
Surprise! It's up against the Turtles.
No, so it's actually going up against a band that I had a similar experience that Leela had at Turtles that scared the absolute crap out of me in my childhood. This is from Showbiz Pizza, originated in 1980.
Yeah, I've seen these guys live too.
Rock of Fire Explosion.
Yeah. Rock of Fire Explosion, baby.
Johnny is a joker. He's a very funny joker. But when he stole my honey, he's a dog. His joking ain't so funny. What a dog! Johnny is a joker who's trying to steal my baby. He's a first dog. I'm a walking in the rain. Tears are falling and I feel the pain. Wishing you would be by me. Thrown in this misery and I wonder.
I think we all remember the Rock of Fire Explosion.
Heck yeah! I remember my 13th birthday. Me and 3 of my friends went, and they'd bring I'm sure I've told you guys this, but they bring around a bucket with ping pong balls in it, and it has 100 ping pong balls in it, and whatever one you pull out, that's how many. They have numbers on them or whatever, and whenever you pull up, that's how many tokens you get. And I pulled out the max. I got 100 tokens. And it was like I've pretty much been all downhill from there.
that was the peak.
That does explain your affinity for ping pong balls.
That does.
Yeah, I'm still a Captain Kangaroo guy. Yes, Mr.
I had a
Nurse.
birthday there too, but I don't remember any. I think I got tokens, but I don't remember having to play for them.
Getting to having to. You don't have to pull a ping pong. You get to pull a ping pong.
Yeah, so this was developed in, I guess, kind of started in 1980, if that matches up with your timeline there.
Well, we went first. It was Chuck E. Cheese. They're very tied together. They
were competitors, and then they fought each other out.
Yeah,
I never knew any. I didn't know Chuck E. Cheese existed until we went to 6. I was in 6th grade, so that'd have been like 84. I don't know. And that we went to Columbus for a basketball tournament, and we went to a Chuck E. Cheese. So, and then it wasn't long after that we got a Showbiz here.
Okay.
In Parkersburg.
Yeah, so I've watched a full 2-hour documentary on the history of Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza, and how they were intertwined, owned by the same people, split, and then became.
Is Chucky on here also then? Is the Chuck E. Cheese band?
Only Rock of Fire, yeah.
Wow. Why? Just because you saw them live? I saw Chuck E. Cheese live.
It said the early 90s. It said the early 90s Chuck E. Cheese bought them out, and the characters were renamed Munch's Make Believe Band. So they kind of morphed them all into.
Yeah. Also, Chuck started as they didn't even really have a band. He would just tell jokes and stuff, Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. So the real the band stuff really started with the Rock of Fire guy and the guy who kind of developed these animatronics. So they were really the innovators of this. Yeah.
So there are still a few of these that exist. Showbiz is long gone, but people have ended up with the figures, and
that's not scary at all.
And restored them, and there's actually one. It's called Billy Bob's Pizza Palace or something. It's in Barbersville,
Billy
West
Bob's
Virginia. Wonderland, sorry.
Yes, I made note of that. That it's within driving.
5 nights at Billy Bob's Wonderland.
Yeah.
There's certainly in the last few years too, there's been a lot of renewed interest. Like Cliff said, they've been doing documentaries and stuff online. So there's kind of a cult fanhood around this. Of course, it doesn't help that the whole Five Nights at Freddy's kind of franchise was kind of based on this. That was obviously a hugely popular thing. But
Nicolas
like the
Cage
guy
made
who
Nicolas Cage made the horror movie about same thing, being stuck in a restaurant.
yeah. So the guy who like created these is still like all in. Like this is what he does. Like he makes videos on the internet. It's like, here's what we're doing. These are the songs we're coming out with next. You guys will be excited about. Like it's like still an ongoing concern. Like he like writes and records music for Rockafire, and like they'll put him in like museums and stuff. Like you can go to this museum or whatever and watch the band. Jordan, I don't know if you saw this online. This blew my mind. So the Gorilla frontman. Fats Geronimo, the thing that scared the absolute bejesus out of me when I was like 5 years old. My only memory there is just hiding behind
Bigfoot's
my mom.
okay.
Yeah,
Bigfoot's
that's why.
fine.
Maybe that's why I need to find Bigfoot to assuage my childhood fears. But yeah, I just remember hiding in the booth behind my mom because that thing scared me so much. I guess the guy who voiced him all these years like died recently, so. As of 2024, he is now being voiced by Shooter Jennings, is the new voice. Fats Geronimo.
Wow.
And like recording music for these like shows and stuff that this guy does. So.
You're not getting that on any other podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say the showbiz lore is hot.
Yeah, I can still taste the pizza from showbiz.
Ugh.
Like it was not good pizza, but I remember it so fondly because it was such a cool place to go when you got to go, and you played skee ball and you got tickets for shitty prizes that were 2 cents.
And I assume there was a smoking section.
Oh, you know it.
It was everywhere.
That's why we went.
So Billy Bob Broccoli was the bear.
Yeah.
Looney Bird was like
the old Looney
head
Bird,
of a bird in a
most famous part of
in
it. Yeah.
Duke LaRue was the dog
Yeah.
drummer. Said Fats Geronimo, the gorilla keyboardist. Beach Bear was a polar bear in like Bermuda shorts.
I had a beach bear that I got at Showbiz Pizza for a long time.
Mitzi Mozzarella, the mouse,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cheerleader. She was the singer and the
Yep, I
cheerleader.
could picture that for sure. Yeah.
And then there was
Mitzi
the ventriloquist act. Rolf DeWolf and Earl Schmerl was a wolf with a ventriloquist puppet.
Hmm.
He was kind of the, the comedian who introduced the band between songs. So yes, if you are a young person,
You don't know
understand
what we're talking
about.
No clue what we're talking about.
Well, there's still Chuck E.
Five Nights at
Cheese.
Freddy's. And, it's a concept you can at least understand.
Yeah.
You ate pizza, played video games, and listened to a band.
I don't think Chuck E. Cheese has the animatronics at all in them anymore. I think they took them out and destroyed them.
They broke them up into pieces and put them in the ball pit.
No, there's you can look up
with the
footage
syringes
on the internet of like when corporate told them that they had to destroy them. They're like out in the parking lot, like stomping on the thing.
Yeah. Well, playing gangster rap. What was this up against?
I didn't want to just immediately say boo Pitch Perfect because we're 4 dudes. But that's a tough, there's some real nostalgia there for Showbiz Pizza for sure. That's like, getting to have we both still remember our birthday parties. I don't remember any other birthday party from those years, but I remember the party we had at Showbiz.
Yeah, but I mean,
I am 100%.
If I could go to a concert, I don't know if I'm going to go watch Mitzi Mozzarella when I could watch like 20 what are they called?
Bard and Bellas?
Bellas. Yeah. I mean, even I've seen at least one of I know I've seen the first one. I probably have seen I think I've seen the second one. Come on,
definitely
a medley of
it connected with a lot of when I was looking up information on it. So it's set at this. It's called Barden College, is where they get their names. Yeah. It's a fictional, college. I was like looking up something. It was like some wiki page or whatever, and there were like hundreds and hundreds of comments. I assume from small children, and everyone was like, I want to go there to college so bad. How do I get into college there? This is where I'm going to go. And I'm like, they don't know it's not real. But
Right.
but yeah, I mean, obviously it struck a chord with the whole generation of young people. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
definitely
did
burning
not
belts.
get in on that fad. The Glee, the
Oh, I
remixing,
didn't. Yeah.
remixing pop music into funky acapella, show choir songs. That you said that was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
That doesn't do anything for me. I'm not into it. I know I heard that song Cups. I like radio play. I didn't even know
Oh,
it was
my
from that
God,
movie,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's probably the lasting impact it has for me, at least. So yeah, it's not for me, but I understand the quality of it, and I don't know where you guys are leaving.
Cliff
Barton
is
Barton
you're
Bellows.
pitch perfect, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what kind of legs either of these necessarily has, but Showbiz Rockafire Explosion.
It's a fun.
Well, that's more of a band. I do feel like Rockafire Explosion is first off, great name. Great name.
Yeah,
great name. Stand the test of time. It's a band. It's fake.
Hits all the beats.
It's got it all. Even the pizza's fake. But still, as much as I agree, I don't care for Glee at all. I've seen the Thanksgiving episode. If you don't know by now, we did a Thanksgiving bracket, and I've seen the Thanksgiving episode of all this trash. But I do remember liking Pitch Perfect and like being amused by the singing, and I did enjoy listening to that. So I'm just gonna say I'll throw Cliff a bone here and go with him one time on one of these things.
All right. Jordan, what was your vote for posterity?
Again, if it doesn't matter, I'll say Rockafire then. Let's do that.
Good to go. Okay. So yeah, they were the 12 seed, so I had Barton Bellows ranked higher, so they move on. So that's okay. Close one, but they move on. Okay.
Good.
So we've got a 7 seed versus a 10 seed. So our 7 seed, I think from one of Jordan's favorite movies, from 2005, Hustle and Flow. We've got DJ
yeah. Here we go.
Suge, featuring Suge.
It's hard out.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will cause a whole lot of bitches jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will have a whole lot of bitches jumping shit.
In my eyes, I done seen some crazy things in the streets. Got a couple hoes working on the chain just for me. But I gotta keep my game tight like Kobe on game night. Like kicking from a hoe, don't know no better. I know that ain't right. Done seen people killed, done seen people deal, done seen people live in poverty with no meals. It's fucked up where I live, but this is how it is. It might be new to you, but it's been like this for years. It's blood, sweat, and tears when it come down to this shit. I'm trying to get rich before I leave about this bitch. I'm trying to have things, but it's hard for a pimp. But I'm praying and I'm hoping to God I don't slip.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent.
Terrence
Terrence
Howard,
of course.
Taraji P. Henson.
Taraji P. Henson, exactly. Produced by Anthony Anderson and DJ Qualls. Jordan, you love this one. What do you have to say about this movie?
Top 10 movie. Love it. Too bad. It's hard to explain, but it does something for me. Like, I love these kind of stories. The way Cliff loves underdogs.
It's hard out there for
I
you know all about this.
I know that way. But yeah, whatever genre, whatever the story, I love do-it-yourselfers. I love people who make stuff. I love people who try to do their own thing to make art in some way that it's not an easy thing to do.
It is now.
Yeah, But yeah, rap music wouldn't be the first genre you'd think of, but it's still, you know, the underdog trying to better himself and create something. Everybody should contribute a verse, like this movie says. And it's these disparate people. He's a pimp. Anthony Anderson is like a well-to-do guy with a good job. DJ Qualls is the pianist at the local church. But they all get together to make something bigger than themselves. And yeah, Craig Brewer wrote and directed it. He's done a couple of my favorite movies. Terrence Howard nominated for Best Actor, and 3 6 Mafia won an Oscar for Best Original Song for that right there. It's hard out here for a pimp. But a couple really good,
Oscar-winning
several.
That's crazy. I love it too. It just has. I can picture them, you know, recording this in the movie, and it's just so, like you said, homemade. Like it is. There's something about that. You just like, it's not perfect when they're, you know, it's not perfect when they're doing it, and it's just so real, you know. The girl standing there singing and stuff. It's just I love it.
Definitely got a real patty cakes vibe.
Oh, I didn't even want to say it. I didn't want to say it. That because I would love to see that matchup. Just like it's got everything except the dollar signs. Like it just doesn't have what you need to get you to the next round. So what's it up against?
All right, so it's going up against a little bit more recent animated band from Bob's Burgers in 2013, the boy band Boys for Now.
When I see you, I fall apart like a zombie. I got too nervous to ask you out to the prom beat. I wish I could make you mine. When I open my mouth, I sound like Frankenstein.
Who's the girl? How'd she get in the video? She's not a boy for now.
She won an essay contest. It had to be under 30,000 words. I couldn't cut mine down.
Yeah, that's rough.
Ellen does not make a believable mummy.
There's that idiot Boo Boo. It was his dumb birthday last week. Not that I care or even know that.
Girl, it's freaky. My heart is weak. My teeth are extra sharp. My body's extra hairy. I'm running in the dark. I love you so much.
I have seen 3 episodes of Bob's Burgers, and they were all Thanksgiving episodes. And this was not in there. So
yeah, the show's has very good music, even if it's just short little blurbs. Yes. But you know, it's very well known for its music. So I'm sure this is one of many you could have chosen from this show.
Yeah, they were in a number of episodes. Obviously, parody of the boy bands. Tina, the character, obviously is a huge fan. I think Louise, kind of scoffs at them, but it ends up kind of falling in love with them too. I think at one point.
Yeah, with Boo Boo.
My favorite thing is apparently Boo Boo left the band to do like a solo career, so they changed their name to Boys 3 now.
Yeah,
which made me laugh instead of Boys 4. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've never seen Hustle and Flow. I've heard that
song
before.
I'm so surprised.
But yeah, that's I mean, I don't think you can really compare them. I mean, I love Bob's Burgers, and they're in a bunch of episodes, and they're funny, but yeah, I don't think it holds up.
Yeah, push it through. We'll talk about more later.
Okay. Yeah, DJ goes
did
on.
Clip vote against Bob's Burgers, or you're just assuming?
That's how bad.
Oh, there you go.
Boo Boo was voiced by Max Greenfield, Schmidt from New Girls.
So
that's also good. But yeah, so no knock against Bob's Burgers. Whoever does the music for that show is very, very good. It contributes a lot to the humor, but yeah, I don't think it competes with that.
Okay, we've got an 8-9 matchup here. So our number 8 band from 1991, Saved by the Bell. We're talking Zack Attack.
Hanging tight.
We'll stay side by side.
The only thing I'll say about that is Mario Lopez got to bring back his pretend playing the drum skills from Kids Incorporated.
Second Mario Lopez appearance on the bracket here. Well, if you watch, that's so funny, but if you watch it, like, he's the only one who looks like he has an idea of what he's doing. Like, he looks like he could kind of play the drums. Like,
now we know why.
This is you got Zach on guitar, Slater on the drums, as we said, Screech is on the keyboards, Lisa is on bass, and Kelly is on vocals. Apparently, Elizabeth Berkley had like knee surgery or something, so like she wasn't even like available to film, so she wasn't even she didn't get to be in the band. There's no Jesse. But the episode's very famous. It's like a Casey Kasem is in the episode, and he's like doing like a behind the music kind of thing of like, you know, this big band, this big famous band. Let's go back when they started as a garage band, and it's about how they got big and internal, despite their claim that they would be friends forever. They had some turmoil in the band, etc.
And then it all came crashing down, like every VH1.
So
it's a total retrospective. Like Zach trying to play the guitar looks so terrible. He's just literally just moving his fingers quickly. I don't think he touches the strings.
And with that voice, even as a kid, I'm like, I don't think that's him singing. Like, it's just obvious that voice was not coming out of his face.
Yeah, I
mean,
but
I'm not going to act like I'm too cool. I know I've seen every episode of Saved by the Bell. Like, it was just
I was going to say,
in that era.
This was my era. You know, this was the one I got up to watch in the morning. So yeah, I was all over it. I loved it. Okay, it
is very hard to Google clips of this because there's a real band called Zack Attack, and they have a website and do a whole bunch of gigs, and they are billed as the greatest throwback party band ever. Ohio's highest energy live band. So they are in Ohio. We could book Zack Attack to play a venue somewhere.
We could get them.
Maybe Taxman will come. So yeah, we could do something. We'll have Ka-Pow Fest.
There you go. Now you're talking.
As long as we can get the Turtles and Shredder.
All right. So Zack Attack is going up against I'm curious if this is one that you guys are familiar with or have any idea, because I'm not sure. This is a little outside of my wheelhouse, but it kind of has a bit of a cult following.
Yeah, it does.
So from 1983, we're talking Eddie and the Cruisers.
She'll never know just who I feel. Out of the shadow, she walks like a dream. Make me feel crazy, make me feel so mean. Nothing gonna save you from a love that's blind. Slip to the dark side, of course I on the dark side. Oh yeah, on the dark side. Oh yeah.
Okay, so that again, Eddie and the Cruisers. This was 1983 musical drama film. It was not a box office success, but it says it found new life airing on HBO. So I feel like maybe this was a Cliff movie he saw on HBO as a kid. So like it kind of got a new life on cable.
My mom definitely, she really liked this movie, and my Uncle Dave, I think, may have been the first time I saw it. He always liked the kind of 50s type of greaser movies back in the day. But yeah, I'm definitely familiar with it. It's a great song.
Nice.
Great song.
Yeah, it's like basically set in like the early 60s. It's like trying to make it, but like, I mean, watch that. Like that was that. It could have been off Darkness on the Edge of Town, Bruce Springsteen, 1978. Like, it doesn't sound like 60s music. They just kind of did their own music, and it's good, but it doesn't really sound like the early 60s.
Yeah,
but the music was by, they kind of found a band that they thought they liked the sound of, but it's John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band was the name of the band that kind of did all the music for it. But yeah, so it's kind of failed at the box office, but kind of became a bit of a cult thing. The soundtrack actually became like a pretty big success. People
I hope that
kind of found the soundtrack and loved it.
I hope the Beaver Brown Band goes up against Emmett Otter.
That would be perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, that was Eddie and the Cruisers, and they're going up against Zach Morris and the gang.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Eddie and the Cruisers on this one.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie. I didn't really know anything about it. I saw Tom Berenger, Joe Pantoliano. Yeah,
Joey Pants.
Yeah. I think middle-aged me would definitely say that. If you ask 11-year-old me, well, I'm lining up at the max to see Zach and the gang, but I don't know where I stand.
That's fair. Yeah. I too, Jordan. I watched probably every episode there ever was of Saved by the Bell. I remember watching the reruns after, the show was over. Anything but the new class. I think I watched the college years. I liked that show for a while. I definitely, maybe Once Upon a Time, but I got to get with Eddie and the Cruisers. It's a great song.
Yeah, I'm afraid that if I was watching Zack Attack, I'd be too worried about Elizabeth Berkley getting hooked on caffeine or something while she's healing her leg up.
I haven't kept the affinity for that show. I except for the Thanksgiving episode, I haven't gone back and rewatched it for any nostalgia.
Yeah, other than that, that one which I vividly remember because I had all his guest stars show up. I had a girl, did I have a lady from Night Court or something? Anyway.
So yeah, I haven't even seen the movie, but I did like that bar band vibe of Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah, it's about kind of a bar band, trying to make it big sort of thing. They apparently they actually did end up doing a sequel. Just it kind of got enough buzz from the soundtrack and stuff. They did a sequel to it as well a few years later. Okay, moving on. We've got a 6 seed versus an 11 seed. Kind of I really just kind of put them in based on the rankings. So we've got kind of a fruit versus vegetable matchup here. The number 6 seed originated 1986 California Raisins.
California raisins from the California vineyards.
Don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine?
Sounds better than what I got.
That was one of the original commercials, I think, there that they appeared in. So created in 1986 for a Sun-Made Raisins commercial. They later got involved with the Post Raisin brand. They also endorsed that product. But yeah, it was basically a marketing thing.
I think you're forgetting the most important one, and that was the Hardee's restaurant promotion, in which you could get the California raisins.
We've still got them. I could.
What do raisins have to do with
my mom's house?
Hardee's?
It was the 80s.
They were just big, man. They became the point. Yeah.
We didn't eat a ton of fast food growing up. It was a treat. But for some reason, my mom was obsessed with these raisins. We went to Hardee's like 40 times in a month to get these raisins.
Yeah.
We had to get the whole set. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Clear to Parkersburg.
Yep.
We have a Hardee's here.
We didn't go to Hardee's.
We went to Belpre.
So yeah, they.
All right,
I lived in the era I lived pre Hardee's when it was Burger Chef.
Yeah, so they got big from the commercials and ended up being part of what I really remember well, the Claymation Christmas special.
Oh my god!
One ended up winning an Emmy. That was
Cliff's hard as a rock.
That was a huge thing. They did a Saturday morning cartoon. They ended up releasing 4 studio albums as the California Raisins. By the way, they are AC, Bebop, Stretch, and Red are the names of the California Raisins, if you need that information.
Yeah, I looked up to see who was singing, and that's what told me.
Yeah. But my favorite thing is like, so the crazy story about like they were basically discontinued in 1994 because the California Raisin Advisory Board collapsed because basically the whole thing was like they were an advertisement for the grape farming industry.
The California
this is so
Raisin.
ironic. Yeah, this is irony.
So like
Writ large.
so they were created to help the grape farming industry, and then like it became this huge thing. So like the people like they were paying this marketing company to be like, you need a Saturday morning cartoon, you need to do this, you need to make specials.
Yeah.
So it's like
Big Raisin was forcing it on them.
Yeah, the farmers had to keep paying these fees because they're like, it takes $1 million we have to have the raisins, and like so basically like, what are we doing? Like this is not helping these farmers. So the whole thing, like all the
Parties is selling out there.
Yeah, like all the profits were being funneled back to new commercials and merchandise to this advertising company.
Bigger Raisin.
And yeah, basically they're like the whole thing collapsed under the weight of its own fame, and like the trademarks and copyrights actually end up becoming property of the state of California. So like they own the copyright of
they
the
own
trademark
Big Raisin.
California
That's
Raisins.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Again,
quite a
this is-
story.
if you were born after the 1992 or whatever, this might not make any sense to you. But like they were so big, so popular. And it started with a little commercial. It was a funny little commercial, and then the people liked the jingle, so they turned it into an animated series. It became there's a Nintendo game in 1990 where you could play as the raisins. Like
Wow!
And if you don't know what we're talking about,
I was there in the thick of this. I remember the California
Raisins.
Raisins, but I don't remember I don't remember the video game or the Hardee's deal or any of that.
Oh my gosh, they were
or all the politics and court drama.
Raisin Advisory Board drama.
None of us knew that as kids. We didn't know all the greasy details.
You just knew
All right,
mom thought these were important to you. They must be important. These raisins are important.
So yeah, it was
All
like
right.
R&B singing.
Did they wear
Motown
gloves?
singing
Or
yeah.
Yeah,
white gloves.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's try to
Like white
picture
gloves and
that.
big shoes.
I was getting them confused with Hamburger Helper and O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, the
right.
raisins were probably, I know for a fact, they were kind of like my introduction to like Motown music.
Yeah, this
For
is
sure.
yeah. So eventually you'll get to Hustle and Flow, but right,
right. I'm stuck in the raisin era, like. Yeah.
So raisins are going up against from the animated show Doug, the band The Beats. So raisins versus beets.
What an absurd matchup! Oh my-
Fast food feels fuzzy, 'cause it's made from stuff that's scuzzy. I always thought I was such a nerd. I refused to touch that strange bean curd. I wouldn't eat it, wow, but it ain't you. I-E-O, killer tofu. E-I-O-E-O. Yellow tofu. I eat my sugar cereal, but it makes my teeth bacterial. E-I-O.
Is this an original song?
Yeah.
I hope so. Because
Killer tofu.
Killer tofu. Yeah.
I have never heard that in my life.
Well, did you watch
And I wanna
Doug
hear-
in the early
Do they
90s?
have? What's the name of the band?
It's The Beats.
Do
So
they
they're
have
kind of like-
other songs on the show?
Yes, I'm sure they have a bunch.
Okay.
So they were
Never-
kind of like all the kids on Doug, like it was their favorite band. Like, so
Okay.
a lot of plot lines about, oh, we got to get tickets, or we got to see them. So
Good.
yeah,
I
they would
like
do
what
a
I'm
lot
hearing.
of songs
Lots of
on the
plots
show.
and dealing with the band.
So they were kind of a parody of the Beatles. They all like had Liverpool accents and stuff, and kind of that's the idea of the Beats, the Beatles. But yeah, I would do silly songs and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I watched Doug. I remember watching it as a kid, but
It was probably the era right when we got Nickelodeon. So if it was on, I'm sure we watched it. It was 7 seasons from 91 to 99. I know I liked it, but it's not something I have a strong memory of.
Right. Yeah. Same.
But I remember being pretty clever, and even as I got older, teen, it was still there was something there. It wasn't just a kids cartoon.
I totally missed Doug. I was
You're watching.
I was too old.
Yeah, I was out of high school. I mean, I'd already graduated with this. So, but I will say that I would rather listen to that than the Raisins sing, already popular songs. Like I want to hear more songs from the Beat. I don't need to hear, and I want to be clear, I don't need to hear it now. I'm already pushing them through over the California Raisins.
Wow.
Yeah, the Raisins didn't just sing though; they danced. They were showing.
I remember that. I mean, they were like it was. I remember I equated them in my mind when I think back. I think, yeah, those aren't M&Ms. Oh, for a second I thought I was seeing some M&Ms. No, these are
say
Raisins.
something healthy.
I was like, yeah, but I mean, they look like the same kind of style. I don't know, the California Raisins. So I like.
But to this day, when I hear certain Christmas carols, I hear them in my head as the Raisins version.
You should hear the Beats sing
Red
"Let It Snow."
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan, I'm totally with you. It's California.
Oh, come on. Okay, you got to play us another Doug song. You got to play us another Doug song. We have to at least give them a chance to play something else.
We only played one Raisin song. We didn't we played a commercial.
But we know what we're getting with the Raisins. I'm saying this is a new discovery here that we need to see if they got any more juice. They came strong with that one song.
Beet juice.
Like, seriously, that I'm already like, what, that bacterial and stuff. Like, if I heard that again, I'd sing it for a week, probably. If I rolled into Blossom and it was the Raisins or that, I'm getting a $20 beer and sitting down, freaking feeling it. I'm gonna listen to some Beats.
That's a lot of Raisin hate.
It is.
That's Raisinist.
All right, well, Raisins moves on, even though we got some love for the Beat.
Wow.
All right, so we're
You just
down
discover
to...
somebody and they're ripped away from you.
I
just bought a
the
t-shirt.
Beats cover the Dead Kennedys.
I bet they could do a mean minute
Okay,
work.
we've got another of our play-in bands that came in as a 13 seed. This was our Back to the Future winner, Marvin Berry and the Starlighters. I don't know if you want to hear some more of them.
We got the draft.
Refamiliarize ourselves. Yeah. Okay, so they're going up against the 4 seed in this matchup, which is Josie and the Pussycats.
Okay, now that's fine, but I feel like Jared, you went with the classic Josie. I feel
That
like
was the old school. Yeah, that was the old school.
Yeah.
Now, what old school? What this was the cartoon?
The
or something?
cartoon.
Okay. Wasn't there? There was a '90s movie, right?
There was.
Yeah.
Now I think that was that's like a big cult hit.
2001.
Okay.
2001.
That sounds
that's
right.
probably
Yeah.
that's probably the other link I gave you. Cliff. I think
Rachel
was from
Lee Cook was Josie, Rosario Dawson, and Tara Reid. So yeah, there's a good trio.
I think girls of that era really latched onto that movie.
Hold on.
I've never seen it, but
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Spin around, come back home. You're running out on a line. Sometimes feel I'm going out of my mind. Stunned here waiting for anyone to take the time. Spin around, we get further and further away. Smile and wave, ain't got nothing to say. Stunned here waiting for anyone to take the time to change my mind this time. I've been staring at the sun for some time. It gets dark inside, but I don't mind.
Again, it feels very of that era, doesn't it?
That was from the 2001 movie, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
now where's the Riverdale
So yeah, that's
version?
yeah, I was gonna say there's probably
We're getting
something out there.
We gotta save something.
Yeah.
Oh, we're putting them
For when
through.
it needs-
no,
for when it
no.
needs
We got to
to
play. There's a lot of Riverdale. So there's no way this podcast is not playing Riverdale. And probably the best and maybe the most famous of the clips here.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have
From
to
the
charge.
rooftops.
Wanted the thing that makes me what the guys go crazy for. They lose their minds the way I whine. I think it's time.
Remember how I said I didn't like goofy remixes of pop
Yeah.
songs? I take it all back.
And rooftop performances.
Warm it up. The boys are waiting. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right.
And Pitch Perfect type Glee songs.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and they're
Obviously, we're in the Archie comics universe, so they made their debut in the comics by Dan DeCarlo, and then Hanna-Barbera created a series for CBS. It only lasted 16 episodes in 1970 and 71, but then like the next season it returned as Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space, and they did 16 episodes, and then like they just kept doing new things with it. So it was on a long time in a bunch of different versions. Like I said, there's been a movie adaptation, TV on Riverdale. But Valerie was the first regularly appearing female black character in a Saturday morning cartoon. So also broke some ground. She was the Jackie Robinson of Saturday morning cartoons.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, so this is Josie, Melody Valentine, and Valerie Brown. Yeah, the comic series says ran from 63 to 82 for Archie Comics. And yeah, like you said, the Saturday morning cartoons. So been around for a long time. Different generations get to enjoy it, from the 70s to the early 2000s to, of course, Riverdale with the new one. So yeah, so Josie is going up against Marvin Berry and the Starlighters.
I just took a picture of my computer screen with my phone.
Long time Ka-Pow listeners. There's a
Yeah, I'm sure everyone would get that call back. Yeah, against the Starlighters, Earth Angel. So the classic. Fake bands.
Well, we said Back to the Future. All of us have a special place in our heart for Back to the Future.
That
really just that one performance. It's one night.
Yeah.
That Enchantment Under the Sea
I mean
dance.
that one. strumming the guitar, that strums like my spinal cord. That's how deep that song gets me, that scene. But, seems like the Josie lore is so much more rich. I don't know.
Yeah, and they helped invent rock and roll by following cousin Chuck Berry. So that's important. That's a lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta vote Josie though. I said it's permeated decades worth of pop culture. That it's changed from the styles of music. They've done a bunch of different versions and have adapted to different generations. So stick with Josie.
It's nice. Yeah, I'm Josie. They're both. I like them both, but
that's good. We're getting up. Right. We're getting up here. We're gonna. It's okay to like two things, but yeah, Josie goes through.
Okay, so we say bye to Marvin. Okay, our last matchup here is...
If Jesse hadn't turned it off then, he's definitely turned it off now.
Yeah.
So we've got our last play-in that made it into this region in the 15 seed, and that is Drive Shaft from Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a surprise. It had a couple wins to make its way into the tournament here.
Do you have any other song from Drive Shaft we could play?
I don't know. I'm not sure there is. I think it's just the one. But it's going up against the number 2 seed, kind of a big name in the bracket here, and that is the Blues Brothers. So that's, of course, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi as Jake and Elwood Blues out of Chicago. Premiered on a 1978 episode of SNL. And they did some, I think that clip right there was from one of the SNL performances. And then, of course, they made the movie in 1980, which was, kind of a beloved classic.
Yeah. You said
comedy.
This was the number 2 seed?
Yeah, I had it as the number 2 seed.
Okay.
So where are you guys on the Blues Brothers?
There was a stretch of time I was really into that movie and the Blues Brothers themselves. Again, this one's a little bit like Tenacious D, where it's like they're pretty close to a real band. But like I said, they debuted on SNL. They didn't get their start as a band that then were discovered or whatever, and it's 2 actors, but basically 2 actors who want to be musicians and toured and made albums and made these movies and stuff. But yeah, I'm not saying they're not a fake band, but these guys are pretty close to the real deal, especially their band. They got like a killer lineup of real blues musicians. Steve the Colonel Cropper, Donald Duck Dunn, Matt Guitar Murphy, Blue Lou Marini, Tom Bones Malone, and Alan Mr. Fabulous Rubin. So these were like the cream of the crop musicians of the day to back.
Yeah, those were like, the Muscle Shoals, Memphis, real like actual blues musicians. So yeah, the music is pretty good. It's pretty legit.
Jeez. Yeah. I don't know how you compete with those names unless you go up against like Michael Nunchuck Angelo. That's
Yeah,
I like the Blues Brothers fine. I liked, I liked this movie fine back then, and I'm less impressed by covers. Like I like fake bands with originals is what I'm drawn to.
Fair.
Although they really, they made that song even bigger,
right. Yeah,
a decade after the fact, and that electrified it. And but I don't know. What was it? Blues Brothers against who?
It was Drive Shaft from
Oh,
Lost.
Drive Shaft.
So remember they had the "You All Everybody."
That's
was
it.
Like
An original is what I want.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I had a Blues Brothers poster on my wall for some time growing up. So I was like what they brought to the table, the energy and the showmanship, and they were funny. And,
Oh, it definitely. I mean, I'm a huge SNL fan, but it's more the original thing. That's why I'm such a Beats guy over the Raisins.
I've always been such a Beats guy.
You've always said that.
I've always said that.
Yeah, I think I like Lost. I was really into Lost when it was on. I liked the Charlie character. I thought that was a clever thing. But I can't put them up against the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Somebody else
sounds like Blues Brothers are moving on.
They're on a mission from God.
Yeah.
I guess we should shout out in later years Jim Belushi and John Goodman also did performances and stuff with them, and they did a sequel, so they were also, I guess, could be called Blues Brothers. So shout out.
They're just like so ingrained. And I literally one of my best friends I text with every day, and he is in my phone as Elwood. Like, for that reason, we've called him Elwood my whole life because of that, just like, I don't know. They're all over the place.
Okay, so we've got one more task here to break down the 8 that we've got left into 4 to get these down into kind of the last 4 for this region into the Sweet 16, the next 4 into the Sweet 16. So if we go back up to the top, we're talking Monkeys versus Dewey Cox.
Oh,
so how we feel about this one? Monkeys v. Dewey Cox. I think we got another Monkey song I can play. One of my favorites for obvious reasons.
There's plenty of them.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Play.
So the Monkeys are weird in that they were silly, and they were, like I said, they were assembled like a boy band in the 2000s, where like they picked out, they cast the band,
Yep.
That idea. But then they, like, I don't know if it was just their musical talent or their acting charm or whatever it was, they transcended all that so much that they became like critical darlings. Like they should have been lambasted as just a fake, poppy band. But they made this show that was like super ambitious. Like it had this crazy visual psychedelic style to it. And it was, a critic called it commercial, wholesome, and yet impressively weird. It had an absurd sense of humor and weird story structure. And then they made that movie in 1968, Head, that like became a film festival favorite. Like, you know, the French cinema like gave it a standing ovation at film festivals and stuff because it was such an avant-garde masterpiece. It's like, this is a goofy fake band, but they had some sense of creativity and just I don't know, they broke free of whatever mold they were initially put into. So they're
Yeah, I was reading that, you know, so like apparently for the last number of years, there's been a lot of people like pushing to basically say like these guys belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like their impact was that big. And there's like a big kind of pushback against that. Apparently I can't think of his name. It's like the guy who used to run Rolling Stone. It's like that Jan Wiener or whatever, is like the head of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. And he hates them. Like he hates them. And he's like, absolutely not, never. They're not even a real band. It's like, and people are like, bro, like like you said, they transcended their beginnings and like they had a huge impact on the music of that time. So like, yeah, there's a kind of a big push to have them like like they belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, people are saying. So yeah, there's kind of a push and pull against, are they fake? Are they real? Kind of like we're doing here tonight. What are they? Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, who wrote their music? Like I assume their songs were written for them.
Not all of them.
At the beginning, yes, but that's where they kind of like fought for more creative control so they could like write their own material. So like late as they kind of grew and later on, they would write their own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a moment, I want to say about 88, somewhere in there. They brought the Monkees show back and it ran in syndication. I used to watch it after school, and then I think it was on Nick at Night for a long time.
I saw someone that said they did reruns on MTV in the 80s.
Okay.
So it was probably like afternoon on MTV, maybe. It was...
Well, at one point, it became popular again to the point where I think it was Fox ended up trying to do a reboot, and there was a new series called The New Monkees that had new, characters. In a new version of the band, and I think a couple of maybe all of them, I don't remember exactly. There were only a few episodes, but the original Monkees some of them had come back and were in the show or whatever. But I just remember it got really popular there. I was not all that old, and of course my mom was a big fan, being that was a show on when she was a kid, and I remember like. I don't know. It just being making a comeback about that point. Do you want to hear some Daydream Believer?
Do we need to?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think it's already wrapped up.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I love Walk Hard, but it's they're the better fake band.
If you have not seen Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, I definitely recommend it, especially if you like music. It parodies whatever your favorite kind of music is. But yeah, I will vote for the Monkees.
Okay, yeah, I love Dewey Cox. Sad to see it go, but hard to beat the Monkees when we're talking about fake bands. So Monkees are moving on. All right, our next matchup is. I don't know if this one's going to be much of a contest. We got Bard and Bellas again from Pitch Perfect going up against DJ from Hustle and Flow. We should probably play the other big DJ song just because it's great too. So,
should we, or should we save it till it has an actual problem in its face? Here?
Wow.
Well, that'll be next episode. We can play it then too.
Gosh, where is it?
We should probably play Cups.
Yeah, we can play that too.
Yeah, we could.
Yep, now or never.
There you go. I like that clap.
I like that clap.
Woo! Not bad to be light skinned, huh?
suckers recognize I ain't playing ho. If you violate off the top, trick, you gotta go. Out of hell, getting a lot of shit, and I'm about to flip. Now I think it's time to show you bitches who you fucking with. DJ, that's the name, and I came to bring the tank. And I on my chest, got me busting at you lemon lane. You ain't know, you fucking with a street nigga. From the gutter, pimp type / drug dealer. Born and raised in that Memphis, Tennessee. Before it's said and done, you bitches gon' remember me. It's only the beginning, I got a lot to say. It's been a long time, and you got hell to pay. Ain't no love, ho, just bring it through the door. I ball none, let my nuts hang through the floor. So if you want some, this is your death wish. Better come correct, because I came to break you off, bitch. Whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick. Whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick. Get him, whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick.
That's something.
Let's keep that same energy with cups.
Yeah, cups. Now cups. Now that we're all fired up. Just try it. Just try and sing that song. We're gonna whoop that trick.
12 minutes of ambient noise.
Yeah. I'm picturing Fred Flintstone putting the birds in the machine so it can play this song.
There we go.
I got my ticket for the long way round. 2 bottle whiskey for the way. And I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow. What do you say? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
It's a good song. I mean, that one was pretty ubiquitous. You know,
Big hit.
I remember so this would have been Jackson. This came out in 2012, but like at some elementary like music program they put on, like they taught that all the kids sat on the ground with cups and like played and sang that song. Like they did it as, you know, as the music class at school or whatever. So yeah, I mean that was a big one.
Yeah, this was 2013's best-selling soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I love Anna Kendrick. That's a catchy tune.
Yeah,
yep,
I mean,
hustle and flow.
Whoop that pitch perfect. Whoop that pitch perfect.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like it's KPP. We're gonna pick hustle and flow. I feel like the popular on a lot of other podcasts might be the Barden Bellas, and I feel like they would make a run for a lot of people in this bracket as a whole. But yeah, okay.
But again, another of our, I won't say services, but like, yeah, everyone knows Pitch Perfect, and most people have seen it. Has everyone seen Hustle and Flow? We're like trying to. Here's something else you should add. You should pull it up tonight when you get off this podcast. Give it a watch.
All right. Next matchup, we've got
right after
Eddie
Patty Cake.
Exactly. I can't with that and get straight out of low cash all in the same bracket. What we need.
All right, we've got Eddie and the Cruisers going up against the California Raisins. couple of 80s things doing throwback things. So these are 80s properties doing some throwback music. So Eddie and the Cruisers versus the Raisins.
Jump in. Not having seen the movie, I can't vote against the Raisins for a movie I haven't seen. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say Raisins right off the bat.
You didn't eat all that Hardee's to let it go away at this point. So.
I refuse to vote for the Raisins. I'm a staunch.
All right, so Cliff loves both these properties, so it's
Raisin hater.
It's Cliff's. The person who loves them both the most gets to choose. That seems fair.
It's my choice. Yeah, just going on personal history, gut feeling, it's California Raisins. Moving on.
Yeah. All right. The decision has been made. All right, the last one is we've got Josie and the Pussycats as the 4 seed going up against the 2 seed Blues Brothers.
Again, I know how most of the world would vote. I'm not quite sure how KPP would.
Seth, what do you think?
I still got to go Blues Brothers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Josie has so many more originals.
That's true, but it's the thing is, I do feel bad because we don't have good female representation here at all. And we've got Cliff, but
yeah, I'm fighting for it.
But I'm willing to be talked into it because I know we don't. I'm not like naturally drawn to that stuff, but
I have got. Over the more recent years, I've gained much more appreciation for Archie. I didn't grow up with it. I mean, I knew that everyone knew the characters, but I didn't have a whole lot of exposure to it.
And I did. Like, that was my jam when I was a kid. Archie was the only comics I was reading there for my first 10 years of life.
Riverdale has a lot to do with it for sure. But I stock the comics. I still order Archie comics every month. So I've gained more of an appreciation for it.
Mm-hmm.
But as a kid, I love the Blues Brothers too. But are they more of like a one-trick pony? Just wearing the skinny ties and the glasses.
I'm fine with it. I changed my vote.
Did the Blues Brothers ever go to space? Because Josie and the Pussycats did.
And then just move on to the next thing like it was nothing. I'm changing my vote just because I do love Archie, that world so much. So let's let this ride. Blues Brothers is kind of a one-trick pony here. You could have just played Big Fun.
That's a different band. You gotta save that one for a different band.
Yeah, that's a different band.
Yeah.
Oh, Cheryl's got the cheerleaders out there dancing along. I love it.
The Vixens.
The Vixens.
Okay, so Josie is moving on. We're going over the Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers have famous hats, but Josie has long tails and ears for hats. So I think I prefer the ears over the
pig hearts.
Again, no shade. Blues Brothers are a great fake band, but we are Archie stands over here. So we're
yeah.
Jordan says he's going with the furries. Didn't know that about him, but learned something new on these podcasts.
Yeah, you don't listen to the podcast.
No, you would know all of this. You would know the whole Riverdale history.
All right. So there we are, folks. We've got 4 more bands have moved into the Sweet 16. They are the Monkees, DJ with Suge, of course, California Raisins, and Josie and the Pussycats. So we've now got 8 of our Sweet 16.
I love it.
And again, I couldn't tell you who the favorite is going into this week.
I can't wait to hear the whole other half of this bracket.
My gosh,
we've got so many more to go. So many new ones to talk about. So
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
All right,
there we go. That was some spirited debate.
We're halfway through,
as you like it. Halfway through to the goal. Once again, Mr. Jared Lowe, thank you for putting this bracket together and moderating this episode.
It's great fun, guys. Thanks for having me, and thanks for
big fun.
Big fun.
He doesn't listen.
Yeah.
He does not listen to the podcast.
But we hope you do out there. We hope you enjoy these fun little sidebar episodes, like a bracket, like a 6 episodes?
6 episodes. We're halfway through. Yeah,
man. We hope you'll be back for the second half of all this fun. Thank you. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Goodbye forever.
Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a comment. KPP can be found on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, or email Ka-Pow, the Pop Cultured Podcast @gmail.com. Join our Patreon page to help support the show at patreon.com/udownwithkpp for special content and early access to episodes. We are grateful to anyone who chooses to contribute. Most of our content will remain free, so please click the thumbs up, like, share, and ask your friends. You down with KPP?